What is up, Ghoul Gang? Seriously, thank you for letting that spooky thumbnail trick you into click and play. You know what? It's Halloween season, and I thought we'd finally put all that terrifying online footage we've seen lately to the test. Tonight, we're diving deep into a stack of clips that personally creep me the hell out. And trust me, that takes a lot. Grab your comfiest blanket, turn down the lights, and settle in, because it's time for our Halloween horror special. The drink's around me. Let's get this nightmare started. All right, enough talking. We are making a beeline straight for the rusty anchor. Why? Because it's happy hour and the crew is rolling up soon. Yeah, we might be a little ahead of schedule, but you know the rule. Being early is just an excuse to get that first ice-cold beer in your hand even sooner. Am I right?
Hell yeah! Cheers, mate!
Thank you for being here and welcome, homies. Cheers! Here's number one, but it is not selected in priority. We run straight into madness! All right, let's kick things off with a classic. We're starting with an incident that hit me right at the start of the year. One that made me instantly wish I could hit the fast forward button and skip straight to 2026. Seriously, and this was only January.
Elections, they come and go. Some elections are, important, some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
And both middle fingers up is the answer. Stupid.
It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
On January 20, 2025, while speaking at a rally celebrating U.S. President Donald Trump's second inauguration, businessman and political figure Elon Musk twice made a salute interpreted by many as a Nazi or fascist Roman salute. Look, let's be real. With his track record, calling that a Roman salute is just an insult to history. Everyone knows damn well that Elon Musk is throwing his full weight and his entire gossip platform X behind pro-fascist and utterly alarming political camps. Think about that for a second. You have the entire planet watching you live, and that's the profound message you decide to deliver? Seriously, you couldn't come up with anything better?
My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
Look, let me spell this out one more time, because what we're dealing with here is just unbelievable. Instead of giving a historically solid speech, or even offering some well-thought-out critique of the global situation, what do we get? A so-called Roman salute? A gesture that only ever cemented its place in history as the Hitler salute? Honestly, that single act tells you everything you need to know about that person. Full stop.
My friends, I'm genuinely a little proud of you for how you've hit back. You made your feelings known. Tesla sales are tanking since that whole scandal broke, and countless patriotic citizens have made their sheer disgust with that gesture absolutely clear. Well, Elon, if I were you, I'd take a long break and finally reflect on this kind of behavior. I think the man, Musk, is beyond saving. Sorry not sorry, Mr. Musk. If the year hadn't been creepy enough already with that incident, you need to know that was just the warm-up act. The freak show has officially just begun. Let's jump straight into the next.
The U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an order labeling the left-wing Antifa movement a domestic terrorist group. And this after the killing of Trump's ally, Charlie Kirk. Of course, to understand more, my colleague Shrivan Chanana is just joining us live. Shrivan, thank you so much for joining us. If you could just quickly make us understand what is this new order and what is Antifa to start off with?
Yeah, exactly. Antifa, it's Antifa. That's short for anti-fascist. And it's a decentralized leftist movement. It opposes far-right, racist and fascist groups.
So, let's break this down to its simplest form. Antifa primarily means you are anti-fascist. I know, crazy simple, right? But seriously, if you're cool with all people regardless of color, and you stand against any kind of authoritarian crushing system, guess what? You're automatically Team Antifa. Congratulations. Now, of course, like in every movement, you have isolated instances where people cross lines, and that doesn't serve the core mission. Personally, as you can tell from my ridiculously good-looking hat, I hate fascism and I hate oppression. So yes, I'm Antifa. But I want to make one thing crystal clear. I strongly reject violence or threats aimed at crushing other opinions. Violence is a last resort, and it's only an option to defend life, period, no matter where that aggression is coming from.
Antifa is terrible.
Are there other groups that you can think of?
There are other groups, yeah, there are other groups. We have some pretty radical groups, and they got away with murder.
Although President Trump said in September 2025 that the radicals on the left are the problem with political violence, cumulatively, over decades, most extremist killings in the U.S. have been caused by right-wing perpetrators. From 2022 through 2024, all 61 political killings were committed by right-wing extremists. Over decades, right-wing ideologically motivated homicides have substantially outnumbered those perpetrated by left-wing perpetrators in the U.S. Far-right motivated homicides have also occurred much more frequently than jihadi violence inspired by Islamic extremism.
I've been speaking to the Attorney General about bringing RICO against some of the people that you've been reading about that have been put.
Seriously, just dropping the RICO Act into the conversation is a masterclass in intellectual decay. You genuinely can't look more clownish than this. But hold up, we're still just warming up. This rhetoric basically turns anyone who doesn't fit into Donald's little world into an instant target. He could have weaponized the RICO Act for something like the Epstein files, but guess what? He lacks the guts for that, because that's a whole different ballgame, isn't it? Yeah, Donald, we really miss seeing that kind of motivation when it comes to actually clearing things up.
These are crimes, what they're doing, where they're throwing bricks at cars of ICE and Border Patrol. And they come in with a beautiful new car. They're so proud. It's Border Patrol, ICE, it's got whatever it is. And they're throwing rocks at it. And after 50 yards, it looks like an old beat-up vehicle. It was just brand new. It was just bought.
Donald, let's talk about priorities. It says everything that you're now weeping over some broken-down cars. But hey, Elon Musk cried like a baby when his Teslas caught fire too. I get it. You only show empathy when material assets are damaged. But listen up, Donald. The real escalation is tied directly to the public optics. There are countless videos showing ICE agents using methods that are chillingly reminiscent of the German Gestapo era. You're snatching parents picking up their kids from school. You're dragging people off the street and into unmarked vans right in front of their families. ICE is terrorizing the population, period. This method strips people of their dignity, a concept the MAGA base clearly doesn't grasp anyway. So if these agents didn't present themselves masked up like some kind of uniformed, lawless drug cartel, their vehicles probably wouldn't become the target of spontaneously discharged aggression. You know the saying, what goes around comes around. And here's a final hint. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Well, look, the Democrats have become radical left lunatics. They have policies that nobody's going to buy.
So, friends of democracy and freedom, there we have it. The game is obvious. Take everything you hate, dump it in one big pot, and then aggressively demonize the whole thing in the media. You know, those fake news stories, Donald, just like you call them.
It's cheap dopamine for the MAGA base, and what a perfect way to distract us all from the Epstein files. Unbelievable. A president is supposed to be the epitome of decency and integrity. Now here's the most important part. I want to hear from you. Hit that comment section below and let me know, is he truly fit for that office?
The algorithm suggests more MAGA-related content prioritized.
I always like MAGA-related. If I could, I'd make it 100% MAGA-related. It's actually a good question, but I would, yeah, if I could make it 100% MAGA, I would, but it's not going to work out that way, unfortunately. No, everyone's going to be treated fairly. Every group, every philosophy, every policy will be treated very fairly. Thank you.
Who the hell is supposed to buy this story? We all watched live on January 6, 2021, what 100% pure MAGA looks like and what that fan base was capable of. I simply cannot wrap my head around how that squares with the way people judge Antifa. Did Antifa try to overthrow the Capitol on January 6th? Or was it MAGA? Oh, but Donald was fair. He pardoned like 1,500 convicted J6 actors in his second term.
The epidemic of left-wing violence and Antifa-inspired terror has been escalating for nearly a decade. At universities, Antifa has organized riotous mobs to attack campus speakers. I see it all the time. And these are agitators, anarchists, and they're paid.
You mean that Capitol run on January 6th?
These are bad people. These are people that want to destroy our country. We're not going to let it happen.
Hell no. Totally wrong.
But they have been very threatening to people, but we're going to be very threatening to them, far more threatening to them than they ever were with us.
Hold up. Doesn't that sound exactly like a threat? Just stop for a second and process what he is actually saying right now. I have zero doubt that Donald Trump will abuse his office to launch a private revenge campaign.
I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry.
He has shown time and again that he is an incredibly vindictive character.
Burn an American flag, you incite tremendous violence. We have many examples of it, many examples of it, and it's actually down on tape, and you see things happen that just don't happen unless it's the flag that's burning.
Oh, come on, Donald.
Under the last administration, the Department of Justice targeted faithful Catholics, Christians, and patriotic parents as domestic extremists. They said, oh, they're extreme because they believe in God. They're extreme because they go to a Catholic church, or evangelicals, where everybody was under the gun. Unless you were a really bad, sick person, then they left you alone.
Donald, what kind of absurd picture are you painting here?
Fake senators, these terrible senators, people like Blumenthal that...
Come on.
But I thought Pam was incredible yesterday, as well as Secretary Kristi Noem, who's really out there courageously, and I appreciate it, Kristi, amazing what you're doing. FBI Director Kash Patel, who's really coming up with some great information, Cash. It's great. Keep it coming, because there's plenty of it.
So, you've all heard the names he's publicly endorsing. Honestly, it's beyond shocking. And make sure you pay attention to the tributes and glorification of the man Donald Trump at the start of every single statement. I absolutely despise that cult of personality. Now, pay close attention to the sharpened tone and the terrifying consequences in the clips coming up next. This footage will not leave you untouched. This radicalized rhetoric alone, my friends, tells you everything you need to know. But hey, remember, we are in a Halloween special, and this is exactly the kind of scary stuff we came for. Let's roll.
Thank you, President Trump. And as you made clear, Antifa is a domestic left-wing terrorist organization. We've seen them on video for years because they wanted to be seen and they got away with it. They beat journalists, they attack courthouses, they attack police stations, they dox and assault our law enforcement officers. Antifa feels empowered to operate in the open because weak Democrats have turned a blind eye to their actions. Their hatred for President Trump and for law and order agendas fuels their violence.
Capitol Run on January 6th.
Secretary Noem is out there fighting for you firsthand to keep our federal officers safe, to keep our federal buildings safe. Under your leadership, President Trump, we're deploying the full might of the federal law enforcement to crack down on Antifa and other domestic terrorist organizations led by Stephen Miller. And Stephen, thank you for everything you're doing. Ordering our federal law enforcement agents, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, and ATF to protect ICE officers from Antifa and other radical left-wing violence.
I hope you are all seeing just how quickly we've arrived at the demonization of Antifa. They are actively trying to disgrace the very act of being anti-fascist, criminalizing people who stand up to injustice. Antifa is part of good American culture. Let us never forget that Americans, through unbelievable sacrifice, put an end to fascism around the world. America freed Europe from fascism. You cannot get more anti-fascist than that. The world is still thanking you for that legacy today, and yet they are covering that brilliant history with betrayal and lies. Why would anyone do that, friends? Think about it.
While Secretary Noem was in Portland, we are around this country fighting against this domestic terrorism, breaking down the organization brick by brick. Just like we did with cartels, we're going to take the same approach, President Trump, with Antifa. Destroy the entire organization from top to bottom. We're going to take them apart. Thanks to your bold leadership and the designation of Antifa as a terrorist organization, which is exactly what they are, Americans will no longer tolerate their unhinged violence.
Okay, friends, something is fundamentally broken here. You're telling me Antifa is now being equated with drug cartels? Wait a second. One group sells drugs and murders people for profit, and the other group is demonstrating in the streets? And let's get back to the facts. Was there ever an attempt by an Antifa group to overthrow the state like on January 6th? Did Antifa ever storm the Capitol? I don't recall seeing that. And what about the violence against Democratic politicians and their families, like Mark and Melissa Hortman? That's apparently totally fine with you. This is an unbelievable, mind-blowing show of double standards.
And focusing on Antifa and the terrorists that they are. Let's not make any mistake. These individuals do not just want to threaten our law enforcement officers, threaten our journalists, and the citizens of this country. They want to kill them. And the citizens of this country, they want to kill them.
Oh, I've got an idea. If they're a terrorist group, why don't you show us all those underground weapon caches and all the tunnel systems they supposedly have, huh? Show us. And since we're talking about funding, show us what happens to all the Antifa support money. Did they buy a bunch of guns? Or are they funding international fugitives? Get out of here.
Their agenda is to destroy the American people and our way of life, and this president is standing in their way. I want to also thank everyone around this table for being so bold and so brave, for standing up and recognizing the threat that Antifa is to our way of life.
So please explain our way of life. Please give us your definition, nobody wants, of our way of life. Remember, this creature shot her dog, a puppy, in the face and is proud of it. I think every minute she gets our attention is pure wasted lifetime. I hope the American people make her responsible for all the stuff she is doing right now.
I was in Portland yesterday and had the chance to visit with the governor of Oregon and also the mayor. They're in town, and they are absolutely covering up the terrorism that is hitting their streets. We have arrested dozens of individuals that are Antifa members or affiliated with them, and I want to thank our Attorney General for prosecuting them and making sure they never see the light of day again.
That they never see the light of day again. Is that seriously what we should expect if we dare to protest you in the streets? Didn't you loudly brag that you were going to bring back free speech? So what do we get instead? Listen to this list. The military being weaponized into a cult of personality, the healthcare system being gutted, Government shutdowns. Countless people vanished into camps without due process. The Epstein files cover-up. Troops in democratic cities. Tariffs completely out of control. The crushing of the farming industry. The list just keeps going. You have systematically divided this country with absolutely zero regard for your own people. What an America, huh? Truly magnificent.
For bringing those individuals to justice. One of the individuals we arrested recently in Portland was the girlfriend of one of the founders of Antifa. And that.
Okay, let me get this straight. You've got the girlfriend of an Antifa founder? What in the world are we supposed to infer from that? Is this the new standard? Are the families of suspects now automatically becoming targets of state investigation? There is a more advanced version of this, used in other parts of the world, and it's called Sippenhaft, collective punishment. You won't need long to guess which regimes still use that kind of practice today. The answer is only autocratic systems fueled by a cult of personality. The line has been crossed.
We are hoping that as we go after her, interview her, and prosecute her, we will get more and more information about the network and how we can root them out and eliminate them from the existence of American society.
And eliminate them from the existence of the American society? Just let that sentence hang there for a second. Take a deep breath and say it again. What in God's name is that statement? The color is literally draining out of the picture. It looks like something ripped straight out of Europe in 1933. This precise type of rhetoric and conduct is exactly what an anti-fascist protests against. So was this just an attempt at intimidation? Or are Antifa demonstrators going to start ending up in Guantanamo Bay? What does eliminate mean in their specific context? Disappearance into permanent camps? Firing squads in the streets? Licensed lynch knobs? What message are these words truly sending? I am absolutely horrified by the level of radicalization that is being brought into the public light. America, I am genuinely scared for you.
This is and what damage it is doing to our country, and how this network of Antifa is just as sophisticated as MS-13, as TDA, as ISIS, as Hezbollah, as Hamas, as all of them.
Holy shit. I don't know how to answer to that masterpiece of acoustic bullshit. This person is absolutely not based. Come on, show us the material, the guns, the weapons, the supplies, the tunnels, the mountains of cash. Show it.
They are just as dangerous. They have an agenda to destroy us, just like the other terrorists we've dealt with for many, many years. And today is the day that we have a president that won't tolerate it and will stand up and fight for the American people. So thank you.
Cheers to King Donald and his MAGA cult. To know what this is? It's a nightmare.
What we are doing at the FBI is simple. It does not require rocket science. We are following the money. Money never lies. And that's what it's going to take to bring down this network of organized criminal thugs, gangbangers, and yes, domestic terrorists, because that's what they are. They are harming everyday citizens in every single one of our communities.
People, I really hope he's finally talking about Jeffrey Epstein and his human trafficking ring. I heard something about following the money. Not a bad idea. Who exactly was doing business with Jeffrey? Who were his friends? It wasn't just one guy, was it? This screams organized crime, something that crossed every region and victimized so many citizens. It's utterly repulsive. It is urgently time we expose these dark networks of the powerful who prey on the population. There have to be plenty of leads, right? Because tell me, I need to know nobody is above the law. Right?
And the folks you see here on the right and left, they're some of the bravest men and women we have today. They're reporting the stories live time because the mainstream media won't cover it. They're putting their lives on the line. They're standing up for the flag. The least we can do is stand up for them. So you have my thanks. I read more of your stories than I do theirs because you guys are putting out the truth. And we deserve a country where you are protected as equally as they are.
Stop acting like a podcaster. Eh, blah, blah. See you in Valhalla, where all good Christians dining at the Odin stable. You expert. All right. First off, Kash Patel is definitely getting his own video. We need to dive deep into that FBI downgrade later. But right now, I brought a few more chilling omens with me, so let's jump straight to the next one. The internet is the next massive sector that they are trying to seize control of. We absolutely need to remember everything we've seen so far so we can accurately assess the real-world consequences that might be coming down the line.
And on this question of the algorithm, which we've heard this a lot, what this deal ensures is that the American entity and the American investors will actually control the algorithm. We don't want this used as a propaganda tool by any foreign government. We want to make sure that our people and our investors actually make these decisions based on what's good for their business as opposed to what's good for another government's propaganda arm. So that's what we've done with this deal. I think it's very good for the American people. And as the president said, young people love this. We actually want everybody to access this, whether they're MAGA or not. We just want it to be fair. We want it to be fair to everybody.
Yet here we are in 2025, and the whole mindset of Antifa is suddenly labeled a terrorist organization. Stop the bus. Honestly, satire itself just ran out of material right there.
As the president said, young people love this.
I become a bad feeling if the president talk about young peoples. Let me guess, they are all on the younger side.
And welcome to the War Department. Because the era of the Department of Defense is over. Our number one job, of course, is to be strong so that we can prevent war in the first place. The president talks about it all the time. It's called peace through strength. And as history teaches us, the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it. That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous. It ignores human nature and it ignores human history.
I honestly can't figure out the applause from the MAGA crowd on this one. The name itself sounds aggressive for a guy who allegedly doesn't want war. Then you have this totally underdeveloped peace through strength campaign. It translates directly to, if you don't share my idea of peace, I'll violently enforce my idea of freedom on you. That has massive escalation potential when you look back at historical examples where that mantra was actually put into practice. And why the word deserves? The phrase, the only people who deserve peace are those people willing to wage war to defend it. Wrong. Every single human being has a fundamental right to peace, even though that right is being catastrophically ignored every day. Diplomacy and understanding should be the strongest weapons in conflict, always the top priority. Because, let's face it, Iraq is a damn good example of what peace through strength actually delivers.
This speech today is about people, and it's about culture. The topic today is about the nature of ourselves. Because no plan, no program, no reform, no formation will ultimately succeed unless we have the right people and the right culture at the War Department. If I've learned one core lesson in my 8 months in this job, it's that personnel—
Whoa, 8 months turns everybody in an expert.
—is policy. Personnel is policy. The military has been forced by foolish and reckless politicians to focus on the wrong things. In many ways, this speech is about fixing decades of decay. Some of it obvious, some of it hidden. Or as the chairman has put it, we are clearing out the debris. We became the woke department, but not anymore. Right now, I'm looking out at a sea of Americans who made a choice. We just have to be honest. We have to say with our mouths what we see with our eyes.
Oh yes, I try to do my best.
To just tell it like it is in plain English. To point out the obvious things right in front of us.
So listen up to my statements would be great.
Seriously, I have to ask, why on earth do you throw an entire event for this? Why not just host a damn video conference? You truly do not want to know how much this one meeting alone just cost the taxpayers. I mean, I thought the American military was out here planning operations in WhatsApp groups. Couldn't Pete Hegseth just have sent a group invite? But hey, who cares? The taxpayer's footing the bill, right? No big deal. Dear Pete, I am currently trying to state the obvious.
But when the media tries to explain the obvious to you, you just plug your ears and spin fairy tales about fake news. That's genuinely terrifying. Let's just hope this period of American history doesn't become a full-blown horror show for the rest of the world. Pete's speech still has a ton of empty garbage about fat troops, dudes in dresses, new standards, and all that nonsense. But we'll circle back to his rant in a separate video. Right now, we need to talk about the next clip, because it was so rich with irony, it literally flipped the entire narrative on its head. Get this, and I want you to let this truly sink in. The next clip is not from some fringe Fox channel or some insignificant news pusher. It comes straight from the United Nations. I'm just going to shut up and let the scenes do the talking.
Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize.
Hallelujah. Where in the world have we ended up now, people? If this isn't the definition of absolute comedy, I don't know what is. I genuinely believe he only first learned about the Nobel Peace Prize the day Obama won one. For him, this is pure competitive ego flexing. It's totally undignified. Now, go look up real Nobel Peace Prize winners, their character, their format. It's a caliber of person that's light years beyond Donald's grasp. They honor people for lifetime achievements, not for a handful of trophies you've collected. I'd be in a good mood if I could just say he's just trying to fool us.
No president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that. And I did it in just 7 months. It's never happened before. There's never been anything like that. I'm very honored to have done it. It's too bad that I had to do these things instead of the United Nations doing them. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them. I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle, and then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter.
Even with the nervous laughter in the room, I still don't get the punchline. You, Donalds, are truly a humble, humble man. We're also grateful that you don't take every single opportunity to pump up your successes and accomplishments with a blast of hot air right in front of the cameras. But, you know, humble as you are, you're only casually, sort of, demanding a Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, what's the fuss? Why is everyone being so dramatic? Oh, wait, because you have to earn that prize? You can't just buy it. So, yeah, I think that very special reserved spot on your trophy shelf is going to be collecting dust for quite a long time. Biologically, you simply won't live long enough to pull off that many presidencies.
We've implemented the largest tax cuts in American history. Once and again, the best country on earth to do business. And many of the people in this room are investing in America. In my first term, I built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had the best economy ever, history of the world. And I'm doing the same thing again, but this time it's actually much bigger and even better. On our southern border, we have successfully repelled a colossal invasion. Hard to believe, because if you look back just a year ago, it was millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, from prisons, from mental institutions, drug dealers. All over the world they came.
Okay, people, seriously, this level of self-aggrandizement is absolute madness. I mean, how is he this humble? You know, normal human beings find this stuff genuinely uncomfortable to watch. And then you get these ridiculous copy-paste time fillers ripped straight out of his old election campaign scripts. Ridiculous copy-paste time fillers.
Drug dealers, mental patients, and terrorists, the worst they have in every country, all over the world. This isn't just in, they come from all over the world, pouring in from all over the world, from prisons, from mental institutions, drug dealers. All over the world they came.
Now, let's quickly recall this fact.
The man who is publicly nominating himself for a Nobel Peace Prize is a convicted felon. Let that sink in. Can you seriously picture a convicted felon winning the Nobel Peace Prize? I didn't think so. So, as I said, that was a pretty weak performance to put on in front of the entire world. Honestly, I'm just running out of words for this kind of foolishness. But let's move to the finale, a truly terrifying speech. It genuinely doesn't get spookier than this, my friends. The next clips are from the memorial service, or what was called the funeral for Charlie Kirk. Frankly, what they turned that into, a full-blown political rally, is beyond ironic. A stadium packed with MAGA people in a festival look, a pyro show, ultra-flat screens, and a political lineup. That is difficult. Truly, truly difficult.
Please welcome to the stage Stephen Miller.
Hello, Turning Point. Hello, Patriots. Hello to our fearless president, Donald J. Trump.
Wait a minute, friends. What is that in the background there? Are those burritos? It definitely looks like a snack.
And hello to millions of Americans all across this land who are gathered in sadness and sorrow to mourn Charlie Kirk, but also to dedicate ourselves to finishing his mission and achieving victory in his name.
I want to know what mission that is and what the mission objective is. Charlie Kirk's statements are causing massive debate, and rightly so. So stop beating around the bush and speak clearly. What is the mission objective? That is vital information, because I guarantee you a lot of people want no part of it. And here's a basic decency check. Where I come from, you offer your condolences to the family first. You don't start by just greeting the boys. This entire spectacle once again has that fanatical, chilling tone we all remember from those black and white recordings of the past. The warning signs are flashing.
The day that Charlie died, the angels wept, but those tears have been turned into fire in our hearts. And that fire burns with a righteous fury that our enemies cannot comprehend or understand. When I see Erica and her strength and her courage, I'm reminded of a famous expression. The storm whispers to the warrior that you cannot withstand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm.
I am the storm. Seriously, what the hell is that kind of fairy tale doing being dropped at a memorial service? And all this talk about angels. Can we please just delegate the official Christian religious categorization to speakers from religiously recognized institutions, like, say, the Vatican? I think they're significantly deeper in the game on that front than anyone on that stage.
Erica is the storm. We are the storm. And our enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello.
From Athens to Rome, direct jump to Philadelphia? What kind of delusion are you living in? Newsflash. The American nation is only celebrating its 250th birthday.
Our ancestors built the cities, They produced the art and architecture. They built the industry.
And listen up, the progress of civilization was built by people of all colors and all ethnicities, even if they are desperately trying to sell you a different narrative now. The evidence that all people contributed to progress is irrevocably proven in every historical record. So, sorry, Mr. Miller, but Athens was not built by MAGA, Rome was not built by MAGA, Philadelphia was not built by MAGA, and industry was not invented or built by MAGA. Get back to planet Earth.
America stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization, who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light. The light will defeat the dark.
What in the actual hell does any of this have to do with mourning Charlie Kirk? This is being utterly exploited and used solely for political gain. And what exactly has Mr. Miller contributed here? He's spewing complete gibberish. Light versus darkness. What is this, a bad movie script? The fanatical fervor with which he says all this. That man desperately needs a cold shower. Isn't this genuinely terrifying? Just consider the influence this person wields and exactly what he chooses to use it for. Think about it.
We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble.
I believe there are a lot of people out there who would judge that statement very, very differently. But honestly, if you're going to create new enemies, it would be really great to know who exactly is we and who exactly is they in this conversation. That identity needs to be clearly communicated. Anything less is just fear-mongering.
And to those trying to incite violence against us,
violence is not the answer, period. But please, don't let them mobilize one single act of violence and conveniently forget everything else. And we absolutely will not forget Melissa and Mark Hortman treacherously murdered in their own home for their democratic work. Do not forget the specific ideology that killer represented. This is a dangerous, volatile situation, and Mr. Miller is just pouring gasoline on the fire.
those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity.
Oh man, what on earth was done to that person that they are practically exploding with hatred? I mean, talking about enemies at a memorial service is already terrible, but this just absolutely tops it. That sounds purely hateful and fanatical. A cold shower is officially useless here. This is absolutely dangerous. He sees himself as the light fighting the darkness? That shows zero reflection on his own actions. Seriously, how can people elect characters like that into political office?
You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy. And we will devote the rest of our lives to finishing the causes for which Charlie gave his last measure of devotion. You cannot defeat us. You cannot slow us. You cannot stop us. You cannot deter us. We will carry Charlie and Erica in our heart every single day and fight that much harder because of what you did to us. You have no idea the dragon you have awakened. You have no idea how determined we will be to save this civilization, to save the West, to save this republic.
Honestly, there is just nothing left to say. I have officially hit the wall of my understanding for hateful people. What's next? Stage diving? One last time, who exactly is they and who is we? And issuing threats at a damn memorial service is beyond the pale. Shame. This is utterly insane, the kind of stuff we're being forced to listen to.
Because our children are strong, and our grandchildren will be strong, and our children's children's children will be strong. And what will you leave behind? Nothing. Nothing. To our enemies, you have nothing to give, you have nothing to offer, you have nothing to share, but bitterness. We have beauty, we have light, we have goodness, we have determination, we have vision, we have strength. We built the world that we inhabit now.
Listen up, you clown. One more time. What the hell have you built? What makes you so supremely confident that your opponents are absolutely useless, incapable of achieving anything, unable to create value, and don't possess your supposed strength? What is any of this doing at a memorial service? That entire thing sounds like nothing but a vow of revenge. What is wrong with you? What a frickin' clown!
Generation by generation. And we will defend this world. We will defend goodness. We will defend light. We will defend virtue. You cannot terrify us. You cannot frighten us. You cannot threaten us. Because we are on the side of goodness. We are on the side of God.
Alright, so at this point, the entire team and I looked at each other and decided it was time to pull the plug on the rest of this video. We came here to get a little spooky, people. We didn't sign up to be scared to actual death.
Dear friends, whether you are a Republican or a Democrat, we have always managed to live together peacefully, haven't we? I mean, of course, there are always toxic edges where fringe extremist groups intersect, and that should always be condemned. But did that ever paralyze public life the way it's being portrayed now? Diversity has always been a strength in every part of the American experience. We as normal citizens simply cannot let a cult of personality radicalize us. I am absolutely sure that there are still sincere, honest Republicans who do not align with the MAGA cult. Let's all seek dialogue again and genuinely work on solutions that create an equal perspective for everyone, rich or poor. Let's choose unity.
Alright, so I just want to say a massive thank you once again for tuning in, and especially for your perseverance in sticking with us all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this slightly different flavor of AI slop, please smash that like button and hit subscribe on our channel. I'd love to see you all in the next video. Until then, make Antifa great again.